Yes, Lord, this is Anderson Paak. You listening to the Jukebox representing 805. Let's get it.
And I did some EDM in the beginning of my musical career, just because I was I don't know what I like. I don't know what sounds good, so I did everything. EDM, bubblegum pop, electro pop. I did some rap songs, some R&B, very theatrical ones. I was let's just throw shit to the wall and see what sticks.
So fill my cup, you lazy fuck, or I will cause a scene. See, I try to play nice, but my mind is watered down with the lies that the bottles seem to tell. They tricked me 'cause that whiskey, 2 6s and 2 9s. Why waste time for another? I'm alright.
Before we begin, I want to thank our sponsor, Rough to Fluff. For all of our Ventura County-based listeners looking to get your dog groomed, look no further than Rough to Fluff. It's a female and family-owned and run luxury dog grooming salon located in Camarillo. For more information or to book your appointment now, call 805-702-4445. That's 805-702-4445. Call now. Welcome back to the Jukebox. I'm your host, Jay Washington, and today we are here with independent singer-songwriter Mia Mormino.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here today.
I'm very excited.
Mia's here to talk about her latest project, 7 Deadly Singles, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But for those not familiar with you, what can you tell us about yourself and the music that you make?
Yeah, so I'm an independent singer-songwriter, as you had said, and I've been making music professionally for about, I think this is my 4th year now, and I started out as a competitive dancer and just a dancer in general, and that was my biggest passion and what I wanted my whole career to be. But then after high school, when I started to basically just grow up and experience also, can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. Not that I'm gonna go crazy, but
yeah, no, good,
they come in and out. Yeah. So I was a competitive dancer, and once I started experiencing the shittier parts of growing up, being in unhealthy relationships and just changing in general, I was okay, dance is great, but I need an outlet that feels a little bit more connected to me and what I'm doing and how I'm feeling. So I wrote my first song at 16, which is called Conflicted, and as soon as I started writing that, I was oh my god, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to do. Not that I feel like anyone is supposed to do something, but I just felt so good as I was writing that I was okay, yeah, this is how we're gonna do it. But yeah, so the music that I make it's pop, but it isn't bubblegum pop or Taylor Swift pop. I kind of do a little bit of everything, but I'd say the majority of it is dark pop, electro pop, some singer-songwriter vibes thrown in there. But yeah, it's all just very authentic, and it makes me feel good. So that's what I'm kind of hoping it does for other people.
Okay, and what was the first song you recorded, and was that the first song you put out?
Yes, so Conflicted was the first song I recorded.
Okay.
And that was the first song I wrote and the first song I put out. Wow. And I remember when I was recording it, I went into the studio, which I'd never been in before, and I was what the hell is this? This is crazy.
I'm saying, okay, because I don't believe that. I heard the song. Period. The first song, period.
Yeah.
Really?
Conflicted,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the first one.
That's a really good one.
Thank you.
Yeah,
oh my god.
That was one of my favorite when I was checking out your catalog.
Thanks.
That was one of my favorites.
That's so interesting.
First
Thank
ever
you.
time writing. I'm
Yeah. No. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that was the first one. I wrote it on my broken piano, and I mean broken, not fixable piano.
Yeah.
And then brought it to my voice teacher, and I was like, okay, I have this song, I don't know, and I want to do something with it, but I don't know where to go. Like, I've never done this. So she referred me to a producer that she works with, or had worked with. His name is Hamster. And I went into the studio for the first time, and I've said this before, but like, it's just a memory that I will never ever forget, is putting on the headphones and like being able to hear my own heartbeat, because I was shitting myself. I was so nervous. And I was like having this whole like moment of realization. It was crazy. But yeah, so I recorded that one, and originally it was a super sad and slow ballad, and then he was like, do you want to try making this a little bit more like upbeat? And I was like, sure, whatever you think. Like, I don't know, I've never done this. And then it turned into this like kind of EDM vibe sort of song, and I loved it. Like, I was babysitting when I heard the first the first demo of it, like after it had been worked on, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And it was like so raw, and like, at the time I thought that was like the best thing ever, but now I'm like, there were no effects, it was just super basic, but I thought it was so incredible. Then I put that one out, and then I made a music video for that one, and that was like my first music video. And I just was like looking at it, looked like such a little baby, and I was like, you don't know anything. Not that I know everything now, but I know a lot more now than I did. But yeah, so that was my first one, Conflicted.
Wow,
yeah.
that's really big moves.
Thanks.
To go from not writing at all,
yeah,
to let's make this song.
Yeah.
And then it just it worked. You said your teacher put
you
on?
My voice teacher.
Oh, your voice teacher. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Put you in touch with the producer, and then you put out this great song, which it was 2018, right?
2018.
Whatever. I had no idea that was your first song.
Oh, thanks.
Especially first time writing.
Thanks.
Seriously, that's crazy. It's such a professional sound.
Thank you.
Are you still working with that producer?
Yeah, he has been the first one I ever worked with, and he's produced like, I'd say probably 80% of my songs that are out. Of the 7 Deadly Singles, he did, I think, like 4 of them. 3 or 4, I don't remember which. Like, I know which ones, but off the top of my head, it's somewhere around there. But he's great. He's been with me since the beginning, and it's just cool because not only can you hear our musical, like, because he's been with me since the beginning, our relationship has obviously gotten stronger and stronger. Yeah. So like, the music shows that, and like, I like to do things that he's never really done before, so it's like a good challenge for him, and it's a challenge for me, because it's like making it all work and seeing how the sounds go together and all that. But yeah, he's great. I love him, and I always love him.
And were you a fan of that sound before when he ended up making the song?
No, like, not at all.
EDM, right?
No, not at all. And I like did some EDM in the beginning of my like musical career, just because I was like, I don't know what I like, I don't know what sounds good, so I did everything: EDM, bubblegum pop, electro pop. I did some rap songs, some R&B, very like theatrical ones. Like, I was like, let's just throw shit to the wall and see what sticks. Yeah.
So okay, I kind of want to get into that. Like, the differences between each one, but where have you landed? Like, what?
I feel like, okay, I love analogies, so like, bear with me, but I feel like if this is like my sound, like, and it's like at an airport or something, I'm like almost there. Like, I've almost landed at what my like sound is. But at the same time, I also feel like I will never have a distinctive sound, because I love everything. I will have like things that are very Mia, but as far as genre goes, I just think that it's gonna be kind of controlled chaos. But definitely darker, like the darker the better for me. Like, I love to write about everything, but especially things that people don't usually talk about or have a hard time talking about, and sonically just like really intense. I feel like it's like a good outlet for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. And I saw that you mentioned that you were working with rap and EDM and all that stuff. I saw that you had a lot of features on a lot of different tracks. Like, can you just tell us a little bit about how all that worked? Again, I'm amazed just like how you went from never writing a song to all these different tracks, and it sounded amazing.
Thank you. All the features. That was a big fat trial period for me because, again, I was like, I don't know how this works. I don't know what works for me, what I like, what connects with me most, like what style of writing I like to do. So I'd say the majority of my features are very EDM, which is like not the type of music that I like making, just because I don't feel like it connects to me. Like, I like having songs with drops and lots of dynamics, but a full-on like Calvin Harris EDM type thing, like, it's just not really my thing. But yeah, I've done a lot of different things, lots of EDM, handful of rap songs, which was like really fun because I just felt cool. I was like I actually saw I heard the GT Coria one. That was really cool. Thank you. That was a good one. That was fun. That was fun. That was very much like, because that was just the hook, like I just sang on the hook. So it was cool to hear that contrast. And that was like during COVID, so I like was in my room and being like, with my headphones and like chopping up my vocals and stuff. But that was, thank you. I love that one too.
That was a good vibe.
That's
one thing I noticed, like, you can fit in a lot of different genres.
Thank you.
All right, so far out of all the songs you made, what would you say like are your top 2 favorites?
Oh, that's a good question. The first one that comes to mind is my single Stick Up. That one represents greed in my 7 Deadly Singles project, and that will always be one of my all-time favorite songs I've ever made because I love storytelling and I'm very imaginative, and with like deeper discovery and more therapy lessons, I learned that it's just like a coping mechanism for like making different worlds and putting myself in them. But it's great for music, so I'm like, yes, like this is good. But yeah, I love Stick Up so much because the story is about this burlesque dancer who gets hit on by like some weird creepy guys and robs them and then kills them. Not that like that's my vibe at all, but
you have a passion for storytelling.
Have such a passion for storytelling.
And that brings me into like the videos. You have so many videos. And for an independent artist like yourself, like that's not an easy route to go.
It's a lot.
It's rare that people have videos, and especially at the quality that yours are at.
Thank you.
How did you go about like deciding on videos and making them happen?
Videos are like, music videos are probably one of my biggest passions with my music career. I just love visuals, and I love, again, storytelling, and the feeling of seeing everything that you thought in your brain come to life and in like this presented not perfectly, but like very well packaged, like tangible thing is just the coolest feeling ever. So with all of my videos, but especially this year, they all started with me I had the songs done first, but I would be like in my bed at like 2 a.m. with my laptop open with a blank pages document, listening to my song on my headphones, and just was like word vomiting everything that came into my mind while I was listening to the song, whether it be certain colors, whether it be locations, but not like, let me try to book this location. Just, it could be scenes from a movie. Like, I just am like dumping all of my creative thoughts into one place. And then it's cool because looking back at those documents, you can see where the video started to come together in my list of, just words. And then from there, I'd write up the treatment. So like the story, different like shots that I wanted. And then after that, I would go find the locations. So that's a whole project in itself, because when you're scheduling things for like the shoot day, it's more expensive if you have 2 shoot days or 3 or 4. So I try to cram everything into one. So they're like 13-hour days. So finding, someone to work with me with directing and producing and editing and filming and all of that is another big component of it. And after that, it's if there's any like talent that I need or want or I'm looking for, I'll put out a casting call and like hire the actors and actresses. And that's really fun because it's like you get all these submissions, and usually like I'm looking for someone to play like a love interest and it's like online dating but better because like I don't have to like date these people, but I'm just like no. Exactly. I like put it in my height, the eye color I'm looking for, like it's very, very fun. And then from there I'll draw up the costumes and figure out like my makeup looks, and then I'll consult with my hair girl Emily, and she's like worked on every music video with me, and we'll do like some test runs. And then usually my videos involve like pretty elaborate ideas or props that I don't have the budget for. So it's like very DIY, but it like looks good. But I've done everything from set building to like going downtown and looking at certain fabrics, like finding jewels, finding jewelry. So it's finding all of the stuff that I need. It's building the sets if necessary. And everything else, let's see. Yeah, and then it's like the shoot day, and then we do it all, and then it has to get edited and all that stuff. But it's so fun. It is so much fun, and the whole process, start to finish, I love sitting in my like patio with a can of spray painting bricks gold. I love going to 5 different places in one day, seeing which one would be the perfect like jail cell or the perfect airplane. I love problem solving and budgeting and doing stuff with numbers. Like just all of it is so much fun for me. And then like performing in front of the camera is a blast. So yeah, I love them. I could talk about it for so long. It's a fun process.
Yeah. And you also mentioned that you were directing someone's video.
Yeah. That's been a new endeavor that I've embarked on. Directing and producing and editing other artists' music videos. And that's really fun because it's another creative outlet. And I'm not spending my own money. So I'm like, wow, this is fun. Like, this is my budget, but it's not coming out of my bank account. And I'm like getting paid to do this. So yeah, I just did one for a really awesome artist named Sammy Listo. He's a country artist, and it was so fun. Never thought it would be country, but I'm like, let's do this.
Do it all.
Let's do this.
See what sticks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go to a break soon, but before we go, can you just tell us some of your biggest successes and failures so far?
Oh, that's a really good question. Okay. My biggest successes, in 2019, I spoke at a school for like performing arts, and I was like the spotlighted speaker. So I got to speak in front of, I don't remember how big the crowd was, but a whole bunch of like 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and then like 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, just about my story and the importance of not comparing yourself to everything you see on social media, because they're growing up like with social media at a super young age. And I got to sing for them, and that was like one of the most incredible moments of my career, but like of my life, like being able to literally like have the attention of a bunch of little tiny peanuts being like, you are so beautiful and so good in everything that you do. And just because someone on Instagram or TikTok is appearing to be more successful or prettier or skinnier or whatever the case may be, like, first of all, it's usually not the case, and second of all, it doesn't matter. So that was like huge. I sold out my first show at the Viper Room this past year.
See that.
That was so cool. That was like very thrilling because I just didn't think that would happen for like a really long time. So that was a huge success, and one of my songs kind of like did really well on YouTube and got like 5 million views, which is like to some artists, probably what they get in like 5 minutes. But for me, I'm like, oh shit, like that's a lot of people.
No, that's big. That's big even for big artists.
Yeah.
So.
And just like from that, the amount of people that have DM'd me on Instagram or like commented on my YouTube videos being like, you have no idea how much this song helped me and how much it spoke to me because like of my vulnerability, it helped someone else be vulnerable and feel less alone. And that's like literally my whole purpose for making music, is just to help people heal and like feel like they're okay even when things aren't. So those are some of my successes. Some of my failures, I would say like the biggest like failure, because I feel like there's a lesson in everything, good or bad, would just be getting in my own way. Like the amount of self-sabotage that takes place is more than I would like. And because of that, it's, I don't want to say ruined things, but it's definitely like slowed down my progression, because I'm like just obsessing over the fact that I'm not good enough and I don't have this and I'm not, you know, the same thing that I'm telling these little kids to not listen to. Right. I'm like, here I am like sitting in my room being like, oh my God, I'm garbage. Like I'm literally worth nothing, which isn't true. But that's been an ongoing struggle. I would say probably, that's like a interesting question. Like there's a lot of things that have not really gone to plan, but I think because I really try to look at everything with like not like a positive mindset, but just like, okay, what's the lesson in this? I've kind of forced myself not to remember the not so good moments as like, you suck, you failed, which is, I'm not saying that's like what, you know, but yeah, so I'd say just really getting in my own way has been the trickiest part.
Mia's latest project is the 7 Deadly Singles, and we'll be right back.
Yay, thank you.
Dancing on stage, feathers wrapped around my waist. When I see his pretty face, try to secretly complain to the waitress at the bar, but he's not getting too far, cause she started up the car when he topped the tip jar. I give the signal to my girl, she turns off the lights to distract him and see if he wants to have a wild night. I make a beeline towards the door, this is guy number 4, who thought I was just a whore that would give him some more. I was not born with a strong sense of greed. It isn't a part of the blood that I bleed. But after I've seen all the things that I've seen, if I don't cause harm, then I don't get that green. I don't get that green. I don't get that green. Yeah. Da 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 da.
Welcome back again. We're here with Mia Mormino, and we're here to talk about her latest project, 7 Deadly Singles. And can you tell us about that and how it got started?
Yeah, of course. My 7 Deadly Singles project started in the shower. I was grabbing the shampoo bottle, and the shampoo bottle was on the ledge over here. And prior to me turning around to grab it, I was like, what am I going to do next year? Like 2020 was just so weird and messy, and for everyone, for myself, just everything was just kind of a mess. So I was like, all right, next year I really want to come in with something cooler. So I was like, what themes do I like? What have I done in the past? And I remembered that when I was dancing, one of my competition dances was based off of the 7 Deadly Sins, and I loved it. I just went crazy for it. I was gluttony, so my part was to Shots by LMFAO, and I like bedazzled this like goblet, and I just was like living. And what's funny, now that I think about it, all the girls had like different colored sports bras, and mine was orange for gluttony, and I like put the color orange for gluttony this year. So like I just thought about that. It was weird. Interesting. But yeah, anyways, so I was thinking about that, and I was like, like that would be cool, but how am I gonna write a song about like, you know, wrath or gluttony or greed? Like I didn't really believe in it, but I was like, well, just give it a shot. And then I started writing the song for Lust, which is Mile High Romance, and I was like, this is cool. Like this just perfectly allows me to be the different versions of myself that I am in my head, and the different characters and the different stories that I play out, but like have it be beneficial to me instead of using it to like disassociate from my life here. Yeah. Which is great life, but you know, just it's easy to want to escape when you're like going through shit. So I started writing the song for Mile High Romance, or for Lust, which is Mile High Romance. And after I did that one, I was like, yep, this is what I'm going to do next year. And I was like, I'm going to do a video for every single one, and it's going to be this whole story. And then I was like, it's going to be really expensive, but like, we'll just see. Let me just start with one. And then I was like, okay, well, I have to do one for the next one. Well, I have to do one for the next one. And then now I just finished the last one. So we have 7 singles and 7 music videos out, 1 per sin of the 7 deadly sins, and each song is not like the last one. And I feel like sometimes when I hear other artists say that, they're like, oh, this is like nothing I've ever done. I'm like, okay, whatever. But genuinely, like, each song is totally different. Like, Mile High Romance is electro pop, has a drop and everything. Rapunzel, which represents the sin of envy, is straight up singer-songwriter ballad. It's just me playing the piano and my voice. The song for Wrath, which is called Mercy, is like rock, has like some rock elements to it, but very like powerful and hard-hitting. The song for Pride is called Showtime, and that one is very like dramatic, but big and kind of like a live band sound to it. The song for Greed is Stick Up, and that one is very much like vintage pop. Like, I love like Etta James and Doris Day and Mel Torme.
I got that vibe too.
Yes, like,
I saw the videos.
Yeah, like my favorites. I freaking love everything from that era. Yeah. So for that one, I was like, let's make it very burlesque and jazzy, and that one actually was a rap song that I like fully recorded, and then I was like, yeah, no, maybe not, but it's still cool, it's still like a little vibe, but I was like, this is not me, like, at all. That there's actually like a cool story about that one that we could talk about later or whatever, but
whenever. I want to hear it now, honestly, but whenever you're ready.
So that was for Greed. And then for Sloth, which is Building Blocks, it's very dark and spooky and Billie Eilish vibes. And then for Gluttony, it's like kind of dark pop. That one's called Pour Another. So yeah, each one is very, very different genres, but all very much me. So that was really cool. Let's see. And I mean, I could tell you the story about that one. Yeah. So that one, for Greed, when I think of like money, I mean, like, to get like a little bit deeper, like, I don't have a great relationship with money, as in like, just my perspective of it is super warped, and like, to what seems like a little to maybe a lot of people is like massive to me. So there's like a lot of guilt around. It's a whole thing. Okay. So that song was the hardest one for me to write, because I was like, how do I write about something that I don't really know much about? Like, I just don't have like I don't know, like, there's no spark for me, because money like scares me and like has scared me in the past, and like running out of money and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, let's just, make it even more challenging for myself and try to rap about it, like something that I also don't really do ever, and we'll see how that goes. And my producer, Caro, made this super cool beat, and we had our other musician, like, friend artist, his name is Glasslord. He put a verse on it, and it was like so cool. I was like, wow, this should just be your song. And then I put my verse on it, and I was like, yeah, maybe, like, I don't know. But we re-recorded the vocals like 3 different times, tweaked the production, and then I went to the bathroom at our studio session, and I was sitting on the toilet. A lot of things seem to happen with me in the bathroom. I don't know. There's probably some symbolism there, but
that needs to be in a video.
Really, I mean, like, it really should be. But yeah, I was sitting on the toilet, and I was re-singing the melody of the what's it called, like the current verse that I had, but as a burlesque, jazzy, vintage vibe. And then I was like, wait, this would be sick to make something very much inspired by burlesque, like the whole culture of it and like that movie and everything, with throwing in those elements of music that I love and listen to every single day. So I like went out of the bathroom and I was like, hey, question for you. Totally don't have to do it. Totally understand. What are your thoughts on changing this entire song? He's like, oh my God, thank goodness you said that. And I was like, phew, okay, that's good, because this is not me. And he's like, this isn't you. And I was like, okay, cool. So we just started like messing around on the piano, and he was playing these chords, and I was just humming along, like doing whatever. And prior, while I was trying to write the verse for the rap version, it took me like 2.5 hours to come up with a single concept or a single line. It was so hard for me, and I was getting so frustrated, and he was getting frustrated because I was frustrated. Like, it was just a big like mess. So then fast forward, he's playing the new melody for the song, the current version of the song, and I like leave the studio session, and while I'm driving, I wrote the whole first verse like in my 20-minute car ride, versus the other one took me 2.5 hours to write. And I like sent him the voice memo, and he was like, yeah, like that's the vibe. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So it's cool, because if I hadn't trusted my like gut instincts, then the song wouldn't be what it is today, and I would have been like not stuck with the song that isn't me, but I just would have put something out there that like doesn't represent really like who I am. So yeah, that song was just overall such a blast to do and film and record and all that good stuff. So yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you just changed the whole song. You just like, hey.
Yeah.
All right. Can you put that out though, or can I hear it at least?
Okay. Yes, you can hear it,
'cause
and it's also like on my Instagram.
That's on your Instagram. Okay.
Yeah, because
so it is out there.
Yeah, me and Caro like did a little like story time video about that, because we were like, this could be entertaining, and we like get along really well, so it just was kind of funny. But we played part of it in the little like thing that we did, but I'll just send it to you. Okay.
You
don't have to go digging.
I want to see how it was, and if
Yeah.
if I like it or not.
Yeah.
Speaking of Instagram, I see you on like branch out on a couple different things, like you did breakdowns and lyric videos and like describing. Like, I think that's awesome, because it really gets you into like there was one part you were like, I was wearing blue contacts, but it didn't show, like little things like that, like you would never think of. So that
exactly.
I really appreciate you like branching out and giving that kind of content. I also saw that you did random word generator.
Oh yeah,
that was really cool.
Thank
that was really
you.
Cool, and you write that yourself and all that stuff, because it was amazing.
Thank you so much.
And where are you getting the beats from, like YouTube and like stuff like that? And you're just like, okay, this is what it's gonna be.
Yep.
Wow. How many of those have you done?
I think I've done 8 or 9 of those, and it started off just like as something to put on TikTok, because along with doing my 7 Deadly Singles project, I like made it a point last year to post every single day on like every possible social media platform to like boost my engagement and numbers, and it kind of did the opposite, and I was like, what is this? Like, it's
really?
Quality content. It's not just like makeshift, like everything is
Wait, hold on. What do you mean it did the opposite?
It's
Explain
weird.
that.
So at the beginning of 2021, I guess, I don't remember like the exact numbers, but my engagement was like decently high, right? And with all the different tools you can get insight, like, all that stuff. As my year kept going on, that number got lower and lower and lower, which I thought would do the opposite, because I'm super active, I'm super engaged, it's good quality, like it's all professional, like it's super creative, like my whole Instagram feed is like I've spent hours like meticulously curating and swapping and coloring and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it just totally didn't go as I expected, which is like fine, because that is just another lesson learned, that maybe like less is more in that situation. But a part of my whole like TikTok thing, I was like, okay, let's do something that I would find interesting. And so just as a good like writing exercise, I just like went on the random word generator, pressed go, and then put in Billie Eilish type beat, or Halsey type beat, or Etta James type beat, found one I liked and was like, all right, let's just make like a little mini song and then put it on TikTok. And then I put them on Instagram, and everyone like really, really liked them, because the way that it's put together, you just see me click, these are the words, here's a song. Yeah, you don't see like the 30 minutes of me being like, fuck, what am I going to rhyme with like basket case right now? Or like garage door, like how am I going to incorporate that? But it's really fun, and I've gotten like some really cool ones out of it, and just it's a good way for me to, you know, come up with new concepts without having them forced, you know. It's just like kind of like a game. So yeah, that was fun.
Now, at any point, because I mean, I heard some good ones. I was like, why is she not putting these out? Like,
thanks.
Like, drop these. You know what I mean? At any point where you like, oh, I could actually like, this is a song. Like, I can run with this.
Yes, there are a few that I was like, this is actually like really cool. Like, yes, it's cool because these are just random words and it's a random beat and like it's fun making up melodies. But I've got to go back and see which ones I'm like, that could actually be kind of sick, like a fully produced song, you know. So yeah, definitely some of those I could see myself like going further with.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Okay. Did you have any future projects coming up? What's your plan for the rest of the year? Keep riding with the 7 Deadly Sins, like performances and all that. Future music. Yeah.
So this year I definitely want to keep performing because that's where I have the most fun, and I just feel like I'm the most me, as like kind of corny as that sounds, but that's the case, so I don't really care. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep performing the 7 Deadly Singles songs. And then as far as new music goes, I have like a good amount of music done for this year already, and I'm super excited about that. But I'm kind of taking it at like a different approach because I'm a very organized, like perfectionist sort of person, whatever. So all of my years in the past have been like very closely organized and like put together, where I know exactly how much time is apart from each release. I know exactly how I'm going to promote them and all that good stuff. And it hasn't really left me much room to just be creative and record and release what I'm feeling like in that moment. So for this year, I have like 5 songs done, which will take me through at least like half the year. But then for the second half, or just as the year goes on, I want to kind of just like do what I feel like doing rather than putting obscene amounts of pressure on myself just to like prove it to me that I can like do it, because it always ends up hurting me in the end. So yeah, definitely lots of new music, and of course new music videos and shows and all that good stuff, but I'm kind of starting off this year with a different approach and doing things that feel good and not like beating myself up for where I could be or what I could be doing, because it's about having fun and being happy. Definitely. And then that's when all the good stuff happens, is when you're happy.
All right. So any advice you can give for upcoming artists in any area?
Yeah. The biggest piece of advice, one that I'm currently trying to listen to myself, is to not compare yourself to other people and their numbers and just in general. But it's really easy with social media to get caught up in the whole facade of things, especially when you see, you know, someone's monthly listeners are more than yours or their streams are higher. But it's like, first of all, there's companies that will scam you and you can buy all that shit. So there's like that. And then the other thing is, you don't know like what else is going on in their lives. Like maybe their upbringing was so awful and terrible and scary, and like this is like the one good thing that's coming out of it, you know, or like you just don't know what people are going through. So to not compare yourself and to not judge others just because you're insecure and jealous, that would be like the biggest piece. But it's so hard to do that, and then it gets really tricky. But yeah, just to focus on you and you only, that would be, and like do what feels good. Just do what feels good. Like your path and your success has nothing to do with someone else's path and their success, and that's like something that I'm really trying to drill into my brain. Just because something worked for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you, and vice versa. So yeah, just like focus on you and do what makes you feel the best.
You've accomplished a lot so far. Is there anyone you want to give a special thanks to?
Yeah, of course. There's a whole bunch of people, but I'll keep it shorter. Huge thank you to Raz, to Lily, to Caro, Noelle, Jordan, Drizza, Olaf, my family, my therapist, Audrey. Definitely wouldn't be here without her. Yeah. Really just anyone that's ever supported and worked with me I'm so thankful for that, and like actually truly thankful. Not just being like, oh, thanks guys. Like, it just means the world that there are people that are like, hey, I definitely can get with this girl's vision and ideas. Like, I'm going to invest my time into her. Like, that's just crazy. And anyone that's ever listened to my music, like, that's just so cool. Like, someone's literally like, I'm in the mood to listen to Mia. Like, what? That's freaking crazy. So yeah, just like everyone in my life. But yeah.
Where can people find your music and your latest project? Yeah,
so on every platform, social media, it's just my name, which is Mia Mormino, and that's MIAMORMINO. You could also just look at the, I don't know, so they're probably written somewhere.
It'll be in the link below.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where you can find everything. You can check out my website, which is just www.miamormino.com. And yeah, that's just my name. That's all you need.
All right, perfect.
Stuff will show up.
Again, I want to thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
And good luck with all your future projects. I'm sure we'll be seeing you again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Yay.